Good evening, I'm Adventure Argonaut. Welcome to the first golden news of the year. So celebration or something. But before I can do that, I have to see that the streams are actually working. I think they are. Okay, yes. At least Kick and Twitch are fine. How is Rumble? Can we get a yes or a no from Rumble? Think it's working. Or is it? How about Party? Yes, Rumble good, and Party seems good too. Yes, very nice, very nice. Things are working. I can get to business. Let's get to work. As if, I get paid for this. Okay. So the first story of the week is Trudeau is finally resigning, supposedly. Um, Canada's prime minister, of course. Was it Justin Trudeau? Yes, Justin Trudeau. Yeah, let's look at the. Justin Trudeau expected to announce resignation as prime minister of Canada by Wednesday. So I did report on this a couple of weeks ago or whenever it was. They already sort of made promises that he might be resigning, and I guess now it's almost confirmed. Maybe he's gonna do some surprising turn like, psych, I'm not gonna do it, and then everybody's sad. But yes, what happens next in Canada? Well, who cares? I don't know. Like, I don't think that. It's good news. Trudeau was the prime minister of Canada for 10 years almost, and of course ran the country to the ground best he could. But he should be in jail for his crimes against humanity and whatever, like the trucker protests and all the COVID stuff and everything else. He's pretty much everything he's done. He deserves to be in jail. So, and the guy who's gonna replace him, he will probably be marginally better. So not actually better, just marginally. But you can call me a pessimist, but I have little faith in democratic systems in the West. Like, I think other kinds of solutions, more, different way of thinking is required to fix Western societies at this point. And so let's get to the next story already. Since no, I don't have much to say about Trudeau. Like, yeah, it's nice to see him go, but you know, it won't fix the underlying problem that he represents. And then there's the thing of the Cybertruck that blew up at Trump Tower or towers or whatever. Few days ago, whenever it was it like last Friday or something? Well, let's here's the video. Let's have a look. Right, it says it's the first. So it was almost a week ago. Actually, a week ago, basically. Last Wednesday is the first of this year. Yeah. I know it's a Trump hotel. It's not Trump Towers. I was mistaken, I guess. Whatever. But this is, of course, very symbolic of the upcoming administration. That Tesla, Elon Musk's company's car explodes in front of a Trump building, and Trump, of course, is going to be the president again, and Elon Musk is going to be with his administration. And I just wonder, like, whoever orchestrated this event, What did they intend it to be this symbolical, or is it accident? Is it, did fate conspire to make it so? But the guy, I don't remember his name. Doesn't really matter. The guy, his was some sort of soldier, supposedly, who was in the car when it exploded. And he supposedly killed himself because China keeps US in a checkmate position with the world's most sophisticated drones. So his name is Matthew Levelsberger. He's supposedly the Cybertruck bomber. So it doesn't, like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Hey, Agent Double Hertz, welcome, welcome. So yeah, if that's the reason the guy blew up the truck, if he even blew it up, it's the dumbest thing ever. Because doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, you want people's attention to these supposed advanced Chinese drones, and then you blow yourself up. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Like, well, why does he care about these drones? It sounds like a complete psyop to me. Like, I don't know for what extent actually, but doesn't make much sense. So yeah, I'm not gonna read all of this because it just seems like bullshit. Like, just a few weeks ago or so, there was the UFO drones in somewhere in United States, and of course there's rumors, they're Chinese drones. So it really seems like they're setting up a narrative or something about drones. You have to be scared of drones or something. Maybe that's it, because, like, 20 years ago it was you have to be afraid of terrorists. Maybe it's gonna be drones now. Who knows? And here's Mr. Obvious saying, I'm highly suspicious around these recent attacks. It appears the CIA has been recruiting out of Fort Bragg for decades now. 3 separate terror attacks, all of whom went to Bragg. This needs to be investigated. Cybertruck bomber found dead with a gunshot wound in burned down Cybertruck. Cybertrucks can be driven remotely or on autopilot, which means he could have been dead before the truck parked in front of the hotel. That makes sense. Yeah, because, like, I think the official line on the Cybertruck bombing is that the perpetrator drove the truck there, shot himself in the head, and then blew up the bomb, or maybe activated the bomb's timer and then shot himself, and then the bomb blew up. But it sounds like complete nonsense to me. It doesn't make sense. Of course, you can say, "Oh well, the guy was crazy," and but I don't think just saying somebody was crazy. It doesn't really explain anything, because it's like a cop out explanation. And yeah, here, what are the odds about Fort Bragg? So this is the Tesla guy. He tied. 3 U.S. officials said Levelsberger was an active duty Army member who spent time at the base formerly known as Fort Bragg, a massive Army base in North Carolina that is home to Army Special Forces Command. And then this guy, Shamshuddin Bahar Jabbar, I think he went on a stabbing spree. Was it just last week as well? And he's also from North Bragg, Fort Bragg, sorry. And then this guy who was supposedly tried. I think this is the guy who supposedly tried sniping Trump at the golf course, and he's also visited Fort Bragg 147 times. What? Yeah. So it seems, if this is accurate information, it seems that there's somebody making terrorists, or I don't know, mind control puppets, who knows at this point, at Fort Bragg for these operations. That's how it seems like to me, and a bunch of other people. But yeah, personally, I'm just wondering, like, what's the Because when I heard about this truck explosion, first I thought it was just like, another malfunctioning Tesla, because it wouldn't be the first one. But apparently there was a bomb, and of course Elon Musk was praising the truck because it somehow supposedly kept the explosion from becoming much stronger in force than it could have, like if it was a normal car. I don't know whether it's true, or maybe whether he's just trying to act like a car salesman while people are blowing up his cars. But whatever it is, I just wonder, like, because I don't think the truck was blown up just by the random soldier guy who wants us to think about Chinese drones. So is it like, is it actually a sort of false flag operation perpetrated by Elon Musk slash Trump to take attention away from Elon Musk going full retard or full mask off about the H-1B millions of Indian immigrants plan or not, or maybe it's actually the deep state sending a warning to Donald Trump and Elon Musk that, oh, you better not do this or that bad thing, or this is going to happen to you. Like, maybe that deep state still isn't happy about Trump regaining his presidency. I don't know. But like so far, it doesn't. I'm not so. Well, a lot of people aren't so optimistic about the upcoming Trump administration, and of course, because many people voted for Trump because they wanted to see lots of deportations, but now it seems like the Trump administration is planning on bringing millions and millions of Indians to the country of the United States, of course. But let's move on to other Elon Musk story. So he acts retarded on Twitter. very very intelligently worded headline here from me, right? Oops. Let's get to this story. So there's a bunch of different Twitter posts and stuff here. So let's just look at them. So yeah, here is. Well, this is like a week ago, bit or over a week ago. Please post a bit more positive, beautiful, or informative content on this platform. And then 6 hours ago, F you retard from Elon Musk. But hey, it's like he's the king of the platform, as it were. So it's like, do as I say, don't do as I do. So maybe it's fair in that sense. And but here, Elven friend pointed out that Elon has, over the course of the past day or so, quoted someone who made Europa the Last Battle documentary twice, and reposted Dalai Lama's statements being anti-Indian immigration to the West. I think Musk is either running damage control or is trying to make amends. I think his assessment is pretty good here. So let's have a look of the Dalai Lama video. It's sort of funny.
From Afghanistan or the Middle East want to stay in Europe. Shouldn't they be allowed to?
Limited number, okay. But whole Europe eventually become Muslim country, impossible. Or African country, also impossible.
There's nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, you're a refugee yourself.
They themselves, I think, better to their own land, climatically. Much better. Europe too cold.
My parents moved from India to the UK. That's now their home. That's okay too, isn't it? If Indians or anyone else wants to live in Europe?
I think England, the small island, 90% become Indian. Then I don't know.
Your Holiness, a lot from Afghanistan.
Yeah, so if England is a small island, if it's 90% Indian. I don't know. It's like that. I think he sums it up very well because, like, I'm an immigrant myself, and because it's often the immigration debate nowadays is often presented in a very black and white, almost like a straw man kind of figure. Either you're for all immigration, or you are for against all immigration, or okay, then there's the you are for all legal immigration and oppose illegal immigration. But it's like there's a big difference between, I don't know, Dalai Lama living in the UK, if he lives there. I don't know really where he lives right now, but and between millions of Tibetans or Indians or whatever living in UK. There's, and especially, like, if it's the government behind it. Well, okay, for Dalai Lama, he's, have been claims forever that he's a CIA puppet because he was taken by the CIA away from Tibet back in the day. But whatever. But he makes a good point, and it's interesting that Elon Musk is saying it's interesting. But here, people are pointing out, or at least making the claim, that many of these changes to Twitter are due to Elon Musk's personal actions or preferences, or whatever you want to call it. So gets caught liking porn, makes likes private. His ex-wife blocks him, changes the way blocks works, or blocking works. Notices everyone on his posts, comments shitting on him, announces he will penalize any tweet seen as negative. So yeah, this is where we are now. Like, supposedly, they will penalize negativity on Twitter. Like, not yet. It hasn't been implemented yet, the function, according to Elon Musk at least, but maybe it will. Which is, of course, completely stupid, especially since Elon Musk has praised how Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it, Xitter, that it's the number one news source in the world nowadays. And, a lot of news are negative. I saw somebody joking that, okay, are you going to make a story like 100 people joyfully die in a car crash or something, because you have to make it sound positive. Is that how it's gonna work? Like, how retarded can you get? Like, if you wanna, like, there's difference between, like, if you want a free speech platform that he supposedly wants, or does he want to, I don't know, please the advertisers. But yeah, regarding that, because it's like, nowadays on YouTubers can't say words like killed or murdered or something like that, supposedly because of the advertisers. But that's absolutely retarded, in my honest opinion. At least, back in the day, in the 90s, when I used to watch TV, back in the day when most people used to watch TV. Anyways, there were, ads to commercial breaks during the programs, and many of the most popular programs would have the most ads, and they had mature themes such as murder and stuff, like X-Files and stuff, in addition to all the aliens and conspiracies and stuff. It had murders and stuff, and other cop shows. They had similar adult themes, and the advertisers didn't shy away. So I don't really understand the supposed logic that, advertisers don't like scary words like kill, which is completely retarded. It's even more retarded than Orwell. Funnily, 1984 is here. So yeah, even Orwell didn't predict that. But this is supposedly something to do with. I'm not quite sure where this text is, but supposedly highlighting some bad facts about Elon Musk. And it looks like it's from like some legal document. But so far I don't know where it is, so it might be completely made up, but let's read it quickly. So through his wealth manager Jared whatever Bingle Bungle, using a false identity, defendant Musk paid convicted felon James Howard Higgins $50,000 for false information about a critic. Musk also confirmed meeting now indicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell at judo practice, which Musk publicly admitted to training in on May 7th, 2020, in an interview with Joe Rogan. On May 28th, 2016, in an undisclosed email exchange with the now deceased serial rapist, child molester, and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, also convicted felon at the time. Defendant Tesla has also been sued repeatedly for human trafficking, in brackets. Okay, this is where, like, doesn't mean defendant Tesla, like the Tesla company has been sued repeatedly for human trafficking. Is that what it means? Like, I've never heard about that before. Anyways, in 2020, defendant Musk lied publicly about his relationship with Maxwell, claiming don't know Ghislaine at all. In response to a 2014 photograph of them at a party, yes, there's the famous picture of Ghislaine Maxwell, or Ghislaine, whatever, I'm going to call her Ghislaine now. Um, so yeah, with Ghislaine Maxwell and Elon Musk, this is a famous photo that everybody's seen, but it doesn't necessarily mean they were in cahoots or anything. They're both rich and influential people, so of course it's possible they have simply met at a party and there was a photo taken. But anyways, but this article or whatever suggests, of course, that they knew each other better if they did judo together. Anyways, based on public reports, Epstein also introduced Tesla director Kimball Musk to a former girlfriend. Finally, S&P Global recently reported that defendant Tesla had to abandon its interest in a Mexican mine in Sonora due to issues involving drug cartels, among others. Greenspan Declaration Exhibit R. So yeah, I don't know, like, hopefully I will discover more information about this, like what is this completely made up or not. But it's interesting. It seems at least worth taking a look at. And there's supposedly email from Elon Musk to Jeffrey Epstein. I did thank you, Elon. Were you able to meet with Ghislaine at Kung Fu practice on Saturday? So yeah, this might very well be fake and gay. This email is very difficult to even make out what it is. So I don't know if it's been faked or if it's real, but once again, just reporting it um, for the sake of, because it's very, like, inflammatory and important information. And here, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Account suspensions have tripled on X since Elon Musk took over. Because he was supposed to be free speech. So this does make it seem very hypocritical. However, I guess I have to play the devil's advocate or something and point out that he has supposedly gotten rid of a lot of bots. So it's possible that the majority of these suspensions have been bots instead of actual people. But it is pretty much confirmed that he did ban a bunch of people after the H-1B debacle and Indian immigration scheme that he promoted, and lots of people rightfully criticized him for it, and then lots of them got either banned or lost their blue check marks. Oh yeah, and at some point this week, I think, Elon Musk prevented anybody without a blue check mark responding to his tweets. However, I think he now allows everybody to respond to him. But that was like, if you remove Yeah, the check marks from your detractors, and then you don't give them even the ability to respond to you, is like, yeah, that's his idea of free speech, I guess. And here it says that BlackRock made a multi-billion-dollar investment in XAI in late December. Less than 2 days later, Elon Musk started restricting and suspending verified accounts. So Elon Musk's XAI raises $6 billion in new funding. A lot of compute is needed, Mr. Musk said in a post about the financing in which BlackRock, Fidelity, and Sequoia participated. So it's like, if Musk is supposedly the richest man in the world, why does he need BlackRock money? Like, sure, of course he wants money, but it's like, if he's supposedly, our guy who is against the current global elite, why is he taking money from them? And does he think there aren't any, strings attached to the money? Because a lot of people have said it before, and I tend to agree that I don't think that Elon Musk is truly the richest man in the world. Is more like a figurehead for, I don't know, some sort of new billionaire class that maybe they want to present to us, or who knows what. I suspect that the last name of the um, richest man on earth is Rothschild or something like that. And it's just, these but they are the kind of people who don't want to advertise their riches that much, whereas, people like Elon Musk they do want to do that. And yeah, here somebody's asked Grok, the Twitter AI, about, how to prevent negativity, like prevent tripping the negativity sensors. So don't criticize your government. So she summarizes, I don't want to read all that. Don't criticize your government, don't criticize foreign governments, don't talk about the conspiracy theories, don't stop telling people to fuck off in the comments, don't accuse government officials or members of media of malfeasance or dishonesty. But it's basically everything that Elon Musk does himself. At least, he likes criticizing foreign governments like UK and Germany. We're gonna look at that later, and he likes telling people to fuck off or fuck their faces and all that stuff. But other people aren't allowed to do that, apparently. And yeah. And here Nick Fuentes says, after Elon and his cronies went mask off on the H-1Bs, now they are trying to change the subject to Pakistani grooming gangs in England from 10 years ago. Yes, exactly. Like, this is a very important issue, this grooming gangs, or, rape gangs, if you want to be honest. That, is a big issue, and it's never been truly solved, and all of the people responsible have not been punished, but still, yeah, it's an old story. Anyways, meanwhile, Trump is doubling down on his support for mass immigration. This is a diversion. Yeah, so Trump tweeted, or is it Truth Social, Truth, or whatever. So Trump supports immigration visas backed by Musk. I have many H-1B, blah, blah, blah. I have always liked the visas. I have always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them, Trump said, referring to the H-1B program. But I think I've seen a clip around on the internet saying that from 2016 or something, when Trump said that he has issues with this H-1B program. So yeah, flip flop, floppity flop. And yeah, and here Trump is sharing Elon Musk's tweet. Anyone of any race, creed, or nationality who came to America and worked like hell to contribute to this country will forever have my respect. America is the land of freedom and opportunity. Fight for every fiber of your being to keep it that way. And this is this immigrant guy who probably got his nationality by paying for it. That's just my guess. And he's saying, like, yes, it's invite everybody there. And I'm not American, but this sort of bullshit pisses me off no matter what country it is. Yeah. WTF is going here. This is not what we voted for. Yeah, well, I guess they did, but they didn't know it. Okay. Let's go to the next story then. That's yep, this one. So let's go to the next story. So German authorities want to take away guns from AfD, from Alternative für Deutschland. The supposedly right-wing party that interestingly Elon Musk has been praising the party as well. So yeah, German authorities have begun disarming AfD members, revoking their gun licenses. Germany's gun grab, Saxony-Anhalt begins disarming AfD members. AfD members in many German states are stripped of many of their rights, including the right to privacy and lawful gun ownership. And also, like the German government has been thinking about banning this party because it's either the most popular or the second most popular in Germany nowadays. So yeah, the authorities in Germany have begun withdrawing gun ownership licenses from Alternative for Germany AfD members who are deemed a danger to public safety. So who is a danger to public safety? Well, I guess anybody that the government says is a danger to public safety. So far, 5 AfD members have received a notice that their gun license would be revoked, while another member voluntarily returned his license after a revocation procedure was initiated. Another 51 cases are currently being examined by authorities, according to data released by the Saxony-Anhalt Interior Ministry in response to a request for information from the Left Party. Hunters and sport shooters will also have their gun licenses cancelled by authorities. In total, there are 74 members of the AfD in Saxony-Anhalt that hold firearms license, with 49 registered as sport shooters and 25 as hunters. So I'm just wondering, like, is the German government like sort of preparing for a civil war or something and trying to make sure that their opposition, that their enemies don't have guns? And I just hope that AfD is not so dumb just to give away their guns and do nothing. I don't want to say anything, give any more um, instructions for them because it might get me in trouble. But yeah, I hope they are not dumb and they have sort of, they can see where this is heading. So yeah, German politicians decry Elon Musk's AfD support as intrusive election influence. Now I do think it's interesting because this AfD has a reputation of being a nasty Nazi party or something, but like if Elon Musk is praising it, then it means like it's not really like any kind of. And hey, I'm not saying I support Nazis, but if you watch my video from last week, I say that I guess they have some redeeming qualities, especially compared to the current political establishment. So in that, and certainly in that sense, like nowadays, if you have any common sense or anything, you are labeled far right and or Nazi. So in that sense, sure, I support because I support common sense. But anyway, so yeah, if Elon Musk is supporting the party, I just wonder, like, are they just gonna be lukewarm, smiled reformers at best, or are they, actually looking to turn Germany around from their current not so good state? Yeah, but I don't want to read all this crap, but it's just election influence. Well, I don't know, like. Well, I guess since Elon Musk is gonna be a government official soon when Trump's government, uh, becomes a thing again. So I guess, yeah, sure, it can be like you could say it might create a diplomatic incident if Musk keeps criticizing foreign governments and stuff. But then again, like, why can't you make statements about the governments and the people in those governments of other countries? Like, it should, especially in a democracy, you should be allowed to do it, right? Like, no, nobody, like, did the European politicians refrain from criticizing Donald Trump at every opportunity? I think not. And this is not related to AFD, but Germany related. Just so guess which one of the which one this German government wants to deport? Mizuki Ikea, a Japanese Catholic immigrant who played music at churches throughout Germany, and Mursal Mohammed, Somalian Muslim who beheaded and disemboweled a guy. So yes, it says here Mizuki Ikea earns her own living, including online teaching music. Earning income is a prerequisite to getting a permanent resident permit. The Stuttgart immigration is saying the online teaching isn't a permanent job. The Syrian has committed over 100 crimes and cannot be deported. Deported. Wait, it's not this guy. This is Somalian. I wonder, like, curious. Ah, no. Wait, is he Syrian or Somalian? Uh, don't really care, but yeah. Anyways, this guy. So yeah, this is the logic of contemporary European governments, which is like what I support regime change in pretty much every European country. Let's bring back common sense, which is far right nowadays. I guess I should remind you that, believing that there are only men and women is far right ideology nowadays. So yeah, and just to point out, like, this is probably a good immigrant who is probably follows the law and all that stuff. This Japanese woman, like, I doubt anybody really in Germany has anything against her except the government, clearly, since I guess she should, become a whore or something. Then she would have a permanent job and be subsidized by the government or something. Because I think that's a thing, like government whores nowadays in Germany. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, but let's move over from Germany to UK, British tyranny. Hey, the AI almost got it correct, so I didn't write the title this way, and I like the image. It's funny. The AI can be creative. I basically said something like British tyranny again, and it came up with this kind of image. So I like it. Anyways, uh, so here So here's their lovely Prime Minister Keir Starmer again.
And when politicians, and I mean politicians, who sat in government for many years, are casual about honesty, decency, truth, and the rule of law, calling for inquiries because they want to jump on a bandwagon of the far right, then that affects politics because a robust debate can only be based on the true facts. And when
So yeah, I don't know. He's just babbling incoherently. But Keir Starmer just claimed people who want full inquiry into Britain's rape gangs are jumping on a bandwagon of the far right. See, once again, far right just means common sense. In any reasonable society in the past, rape gangs of especially foreign nationals in your country, everybody would have been up in arms. And I'm sure millions of Britons have been really unhappy about this thing, but still, I think the vast majority, they don't really care, and that's of course speaks to more than just the government, but it's like, what's happening in the European psyche. Anyway, wanting justice for thousands of British girls raped by Pakistani gangs is far right. Is this Starmer's biggest mistake yet? No, but it's just because far right means common sense, and that's bad nowadays because it, you know, Orwellian bullshit and stuff. So common sense, common decency, all of that is very bad nowadays. So yeah, here is Moshi Moshi Moan Jim commenting. Listen, your daughters got raped. Get over it. Have you even considered how hard this has been on the immigrants that molested them? Bigot. Yeah, that's basically how it is. And here is somebody. Who's this guy? I think he's leader of the Liberal Democrats, Lib Dems. Yeah, in the UK. People have had enough of Elon Musk interfering in our country's democracy when he clearly knows nothing about Britain. It's time to summon the US ambassador to ask why an incoming US official is suggesting the UK government should be overthrown. It's like, yeah, like I said, there's like a kernel of sense in what this guy says, because it is Elon Musk is supposedly gonna be a US official. So yeah, it is a bit sus in that sense for him to calling the UK government to be overthrown. But of course it should be overthrown. I wholeheartedly agree with Elon Musk here. Like, this UK governments for the last 20 years at least have been absolutely atrocious for more than 20 years, and they just seem to be getting worse and worse and worse. But yeah, he does know about Britain because he knows about the rape gangs. It's not like a secret anymore. Anybody who actually doesn't have their head up their ass knows about the rape gangs, and it's just like, and yeah, heads should be locked off or whatever. People should be punished for these crimes, whether they are the criminals, these Asian men, as the British like to call them, or the government officials or police and stuff who have been protecting them and their criminal actions. They should all be punished, and also it should be made sure that such things cannot happen again. And but yeah, then this Elon Musk also says like this: a reform party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes. And then this Gunter Eagleman, who is I think he's very staunch supporter of Israel. I'm just gonna say that. He says Tommy Robinson. So yeah, first of all, yeah, I do sort of agree that Farage isn't that great. Like when he was in the Brexit party and stuff, like I think he was the most surprised person when Brexit actually happened, that he actually managed to sort of win the fight. Like, I don't know if he was truly in it, because he cared about the cause, but because he found a good grift. That's just my opinion. Or like, not saying it's necessarily my opinion. It's like it's one way of looking at it. But anyway, Tommy Robinson is like yeah, sure. Tommy Robinson says some things I agree with, but he's also a very staunch supporter of Israel, which is, I would say, it has, played a role in the background of, creating these problems in the West. So yeah, I would not want Tommy Robinson as the next leader or prime minister or anything of UK. I have no idea who would be a good one, but there was some new so-called right-wing party trying to, catch its wings, but I don't even remember then its name or anything. Don't know if it's good. But anyways, yeah, I wouldn't choose Tommy Robinson. He reminds me of this guy, Alexei Navalny. This guy who was in Russia. He died last year, but like the Western media heralded him. He was, a dissident, as it were, against the Putin regime and stuff. And they sort of the media sort of made him out to be like he would be the legitimate leader for Russia or something. It's like, what? Okay, like, you can say that Putin is bad and whatever, but like, why would this guy have been any better? Because it is clearly that he was the Western puppet. That's the only reason why he was promoted by the West. Oh yeah, and mentioning Putin, another foreign leader that all the European politicians have been complaining about and saying, calling for his removal is, of course, Putin. So it's hypocritical. Even though, okay, I don't know if this guy has said anything about Putin or any other leader like that, but still, it's. So in the end, I do think his words fall on empty ground, whatever. They sound hollow to me, but still, yeah. Just yeah, let's get regime change in England and many other European countries and Germany, but let's get proper regime change and not just your average, globalist puppet. Like actual real people and not these reptiles in a disguise. And okay, and another news is, well, this is not news really, but face masks harm toddlers. So uh, apparently face masks during COVID has destroyed toddlers and young children to an insane degree. Studies are showing a drop of around 22 IQ points. That's massive. These kids are screwed for life. Missed development windows can't be fixed. This is worse than anyone thought. Yeah, children born during the pandemic score lower on cognitive tests, the study finds. So children born during the pandemic score markedly lower on standard measures of verbal, motor, and overall cognitive ability, US researchers have found. So bloody, bloody, blah. So anyway, like uh, Styx Hexenhammer 666 is certainly talked about this long time ago that, yeah, these masks are not good because, like, but, it's not like it makes him a genius for figuring it out, because it is obvious for anybody who actually bothers to think about it, because it's important for young children to see the faces of the adults taking care of them. To it's a part of communication. Like before they understand language, they can understand your smiles and or your frowns and so forth. Like I have a young child around 6 months or so, and smiling is a great way of communicating with your child. And if the adult has a mask, then the child cannot learn to interpret the smiles or other expressions that the adult might have. And it's, of course, like this study seems to suggest, this will affect the child very negatively. So the people responsible for this um, excessive masking, they should really be punished for it. Like this is, if it's truly that generally speaking, it dropped their IQ 22 points, it's massive. It is, like he said. Although I'm not the biggest believer in IQ, but I do believe that it measures some cognitive abilities, and if it's consistently they have lower IQ than previous generations, then it's clearly they have some problems with their cognitive capabilities, which is not good. It's a crime against humanity, like no, not even memeing or anything, and which is why I chose to create an image like this of the horrifying nature of these face masks. But then let's get some positive news for once. Based Amish build houses for hurricane victims. So yeah, maybe the Luddites were right all along. You know, you can't have Twitter and social media if you're a Luddite. And if you don't know, Luddites were people who eschewed technology, opposed any kind of technology like the Amish. So anyways, Amish community builds 12 tiny tiny homes in Boone, North Carolina for Hurricane Helene victims within 48 hours. So yeah, it's quite good. I guess they don't have power tools. What's this? This does look a bit modern. This stuff, whatever. But hey, you know, if they make homes for people without homes, that's pretty good. So yeah, and of course the FEMA and the government is like, no, they're Trump supporters. Don't give them shit. Like the government um, overtly tried to prevent anybody from helping these people. So yeah, I don't know. Just the world is so fucking insane, and when you see like some people just using their skills to do something good like this, like I almost expect like some housing authority or somebody to um, come arrest them for building a house without a license or something. I Okay, let's move on. So now I have some different gaming news. So I just summed them up in this image with waifus, of course. So yeah, there's this new game, some waifu horror game, Me Side, My Side, whatever. Me Side, I think is called. And I think this is just a community, not community, no, like a curator on Steam. Because, on Steam, curators can tag games and then write their reviews out of it, whether they recommend it or not recommend it. But anyway, warning: Russian game by buying it or adding it to your wish list, you are sponsoring terrorism. Wait, what? How is it if you add it to your wish list? How are you sponsoring terrorism? And then also, I don't think you can call Russian the actions of the Russian military or the government. It's not terrorism. If it's a legitimate government body and their military doing it, it's not terrorism. It's only like, if you are state sanctioned, it's not terrorism. You can call it an atrocity and bad or whatever, but it's not terrorism. Come on, man. And also, I really love the idea that, because this game has been super popular and plenty of people have bought it. So I haven't played it. But anyways, so I love the idea of this waifu game sponsoring the Russian military, or like sponsoring their war effort. So I want it to be real because it's so hilariously retarded. If that's the case. Okay, here. How does From Software release AAA games so frequently? I was told From Software isn't AAA. Anyways, Elden Ring boss says we are just blessed with a great staff that the studio empowers and retains. So yeah, is there? They don't make them like, yeah. So don't fire people after finishing work. Allow them to get better. WTF? How the hell do they do it? Truly a mystery for the ages. Yeah, because I think the Western games industry, they often hire you for some project and then fire you afterwards without actually training people who know the job and stuff. Not retaining the talent you have found, or nor actually training young and less experienced people to be the talent of 5 years from now or something. So it's like, how retarded can you be? Like, this is capitalism, and I'm not a freaking communist socialist or whatever, but I'm sort of not a capitalist because it just doesn't make sense. Like corporations, I oppose corporations generally speaking. From Software has made good games, and it's a corporation, but whatever. That's another discussion. I don't want to go on that tangent. And then there's Marvel Rivals. There's censorship. So there's many, let's say, anti-China messages you cannot post on the game, or you cannot say Pooh Bear, this bear there. I live in Hong Kong. I don't want to say these things out loud, even though I don't think they really care what I say. But okay, why can't you say Xi Jinping? That's weird because you should be able to say that he's the best leader in the world, right? But this is just hilarious. First of all, that Marvel Rivals, one of the most American brands there is, like Marvel, it's made by China, and then there's Chinese censorship on this American brand. Like this is like going full retard for America. Like uh, on one sense, maybe Elon Musk was right when he said that white people or white Americans are retarded because they let things go to this point. But hey, I guess the same applies to Europe as well, because it's so retarded. It's like it's difficult to even know where to begin to unravel it, to describe why it's retarded. Like why do you have to deal with Chinese censorship in a Western game? But I apparently you do. And of course Western games nowadays have Western censorship, which isn't any, I'm not saying it's any better or any worse inherently, but at least this doesn't have manjos and all that stuff. It has nice waifus. At least I've seen a few pictures, but yeah, I don't want to play Marvel slop. And then there's this Marvel Rivals has a bug that causes players at low FPS to move slower and do less damage on certain heroes. This gives players with high-end PCs an advantage. Like, I would say this is probably not a bug but a feature. Like, pay to win. If you're poor, you don't deserve to do as much damage on the heroes. That's probably their logic. I'm gonna go with that. Like, haha, you're poor. Sucks to be you. And then they are going after Gabe and Valve now for not practicing DEI. So Valve is also a company with a really significant diversity problem, with multiple employees highlighting how few women and people of color work there, even by games industry standards. I'm told this issue has been getting worse, not better. Yeah, surprisingly, I think Valve is doing financially quite well. And they're, generally speaking, people are, their customers are happy. Like, of course, there was the thing that you don't actually own the games you quote unquote own on Steam. That's not the greatest thing ever, but still, uh, otherwise, it's provides people a decent service. And of course, one part of me wants to see Valve fall, just so I can see truly the games industry crash and burn, because I don't really believe in soft reforms. If something is corrupted, I want to burn it with fire, and then see whatever is gonna rise from the ashes, because I've been my opinion on the games industry has been that it's been beyond salvation for over 15 years, before wokeness was a thing. Like, horse armor in Oblivion, that was the first herald of the current corruption. But that's my news for this week. Except, I cannot forget Israel delenda est. There were no specific Israel news, so I'm just gonna put political statement here to the end. But otherwise, what to summarize? Well, Trudeau resigning, good. Cybertruck explosion. I think it's ultimately just a distraction. I don't think it's gonna anything great is gonna, like, anything's. It won't be won't reveal any great secret that we didn't know about the true reasons behind it or anything. And part of me still wishes that Elon Musk redeems himself, because he's for the past week he hasn't been acting in such a commendable manner and stuff. But part of me still wants to like him and stuff, and especially the Trump administration is like less than 2 weeks from now he should be getting back into office, and I do wish that they would actually improve America, and also by extension the rest of the world. But I do have my doubts, and had my doubts since the beginning. But we will see. And of course, yeah, and regime change in Europe. Pretty much every Western or Northern European country deserves a drastic regime change, because their current political establishment there is utterly corrupt and or incompetent and or evil, and so forth. So yeah, that's it. That's the first newscast of the year. I'm at Adventure Argonaut. I thank you for watching, and all that. Please follow me on the platform you are watching me on, and like, subscribe, or whatever if it's applicable, and all that. Bye bye.